I'm so fortunate to have wonderful neighbors who happen to both be custom home builders, and were able to bring in ramps when we needed ramps so that Jeff could get outside and different things. Like, I don't recall ever needing something that didn't show up. I don't know how it showed up, to be honest. I think if maybe you interviewed my sister, she'd have a whole list. Oh my gosh, I had to do this. She'd have a whole different perspective of it. But for me, I was like, it's magic. Like, there it was. So I don't know how it happened, but I guess I just trusted in other people and it came through. My sister went through the whole thing with me as close as any other human could to what happens. At the time, she lived about 45 minutes away from me and drove over every day to make sure that we had food, that, you know, my child had what he needed, and did everything. I don't think I could have actually made it through without that kind of support. She was one of the few people on the inside of the house of ALS, if you will. So that break and that help allowed me to make it through those times when, truthfully, you're alone. You're alone, no matter how much support you have around you or wonderful people. Nighttime hits and you're alone to make it to the next morning. And so I'm really grateful for my neighbors, for my family that was able to make those small incremental helps along the way to get me through to the next time somebody could come and help. Some caregivers have a really good support system in their family or in their church or in their community or advocacy organizations. There are people who like to be around others in the same situation. And then there are people who, like myself, I didn't want to know. I couldn't take on anybody else's pain. I didn't want to go listen to other people's hurt in a caregiver support group. I had my own, and that was more than I could deal with. So I think what you need as support as a caregiver is very personal. I just encourage each person to find that in their own way, however they do find it. And that's part of what I do and why I've stayed in the community, is I do believe that ALS is just different. It's just different than other diseases and other journeys. And sometimes there are no words to explain that. And maybe out there, sometimes somebody just needs to be with somebody who they don't need to explain it to. And they don't need to try to find the words. We just know.